What if peace wasn't something distant, but something we practice together? Presented by New Thought Media Network, this is the Peace Dialogues with Reverend Christy Semple. Hear from today's peace influencers. Discover new perspectives on growing peace. Explore practical spirituality you can live every day. Because peace isn't just an idea, it's a way of being. Find out how you can become a peace influencer too. The Peace Dialogues with Reverend Christy Semple. Thursdays at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network. And now, here's Rev Christy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us in the world. And welcome to Peace Dialogues, where we inspire new awareness that the garden of peace is growing in our world. And the seeds of peace are being planted and nurtured by people just like you and me every day through practical spirituality in real life. And today, and each week, we hear from a peace influencer who is involved in activities that are inspiring peace in our world every day. And we'll learn a whole new perspective on what it really means to grow peace and how we can be peace influencers too. So I'm your host, Reverend Christy Semple, a fellow gardener, with you in the garden of peace in our world. And we're going to have a peace dialogue here today that will open us up to have new eyes to see that peace really is happening right here and right now. And I'm so pleased and excited that on Peace Dialogues today, we have our guest, Dr. Trish Hall. Join me in welcoming Dr. Trish. Yes, thank you for joining us here today. And I'm going to give some bit of background here. There's so much that I can say about Dr. Trish, and I'm going to give you a background here and then turn it over to her because she has so many wonderful things we'll be talking about. And Dr. Trish is a well-known and greatly beloved leader in the CSL, or Centers for Spiritual Living movement, and beyond that. And her leadership includes serving, she's an emeritus minister, and she founded and led CSL Metro for nearly 10 years. And additionally, she is a renowned educator, facilitator, mediator, consultant, subject matter expert, and trainer in government and industry. Oh, wow. Oh, so interesting. And I know Dr. Trish from serving with her on the CSL Global Outreach Committee, where she is chair. And we're also together on the CSL Global Heart of Peace initiative that we're both members of. And here at the New Thought Media Network, she also has given a couple of Peace Party podcasts with practical ideas for experiencing peace within and out in the world. And so she'll be sharing more along those lines today. And I find Dr. Trish both interesting and interested. She's interested in people and the goodness of life, and her passion is conscious inclusivity. And that will certainly be a part of the dialogue here today. So welcome, Dr. Trish, welcome.
Wow. With all of that said, I'm just sort of sitting here thinking, okay, so one of the things that has popped up for me recently is the number of people who are plowing through life saying, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And we spend a whole lot of energy on trying to find it instead of kind of stepping back and revealing it. And that pursuit takes the energy away from their actual purpose. And so using a bit of hindsight is one of the best ways I know of discovering what is your purpose. And you may be thinking, how does this relate to the fact that we're in a peace dialogue? Well, trust me, it absolutely does. Because when I went through this revelation approach, the revealing instead of the pursuing, I started looking at my whole career over all of the years of service, not only on the spiritual front, in fact, particularly not on the spiritual front of being involved with Centers for Spiritual Living and my other wanderings through faith traditions, and I've covered a lot of them. Anyway, but what I discovered is that there is a thread. And that thread, when I stepped back and looked at it, it's easy to say, oh, you're a spiritual leader, you're a spiritual seeker, all these other things there. But I started looking at where in that career that Christy was talking about, where Reverend Christy was mentioning, business and all the rest of it. And my quote purpose, which is to foster peace. It is my passion. And I have done it other than consciously as well as consciously in all of my pursuits. Because when training government employees to get along, guess what? That's about creating peace. When supporting corporations in being gentle on the planet, that's peace. When working in inner city with people who have not been blessed with large sums of money and abundance in various forms, supporting them in awakening to their own divinity and their own magnificence, that's peace. Because every time I am blessed to be in a place where I can learn from and with other people and facilitate their awakening to their magnificence. And that includes whether online with students in Africa or visiting there with them. There is the opportunity to learn from them. And by honoring their presence, by me recognizing their magnificence before perhaps they have recognized it for themselves, they rise into a sense of calm and comfort. They feel accomplished. Well, when we're looking at what is my purpose, what is your purpose, what is that thread that has woven through, I would suggest that my passion for peace, my purpose as peace, is not that uncommon. It may not have been identified. And so you may not have, you may not be acknowledging that you are a peace influencer. That's a title that you may have thought, oh, well, that belongs to somebody else. And the answer is no. If you have children, have you ever stopped a fight among your children? You're a peace influencer. When you have said, hey, stop, shake hands, even if you don't mean it, okay, you're a peace influencer.
Oh, I love that.
When you've supported a friend who's having marital difficulties and you're the shoulder to cry on, and you are the peace influencer. Instead of diving into the problem, you are a presence for peace.
That says so much. I'm sorry, a presence for peace. That you are a presence for peace. And and all these activities of life, and it inspires us to think, now here we go, I have done that, I am part of that, being a peace influencer. Those are beautiful examples. Continue.
Well, and on the subject of being the presence, is when we and whether you do a spiritual practice or not, whether you label it that, it will be that. But I'll pull it back to myself. Okay, when I realized this is my thread, this is my reason for being here, my purpose, then I came into a congruency about it. My body, my mind, my actions all began to align. And I have just the other night at a Baha'i function, one of my beloved friends said, "You're always such a calming presence."
Oh.
And I thought, hmm, maybe is that how is that how I show up? Is that how I desire to show up? Well, if I look back at why am I a manifestation of the divine as peace? Well, that's because that's that common thread. And when we are what's called congruent, that is when actions reflect the thoughts, reflect the consciousness within, when all of those steps are in alignment, then what happens is our whole neurobiology gets to relax.
Mhm.
And when it relaxes, then we become incredibly contagious.
Oh, that is so powerful. That what you're talking about congruent, and all of that is in alignment, and how it's not only our neurobiology, our whole being, and there's that flow and that expression and that, as you said, that calm, and
Uh-huh.
that presence of calm when it lines up, all lines up inside and in what we do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's so powerful.
And uh, one of the differences in how we look at the world, and this is a silly little thing that I started about, invite everybody to do God spotting. Well, all that is noticing the sacred in expression. And when we notice this, see, you start seeing this, it's all linked. When we notice the sacred in expression, then we are picking up on the magnificence of people who may not even know they are magnificent.
Oh, oh, noticing magnificence.
And from there, we become more keenly alert to uh, what else is showing up that way. And um, recently, I wrote an article for a magazine, and in it, I pointed out that this God spotting, and this one's kind of hard for some people to do, that pesky fly that somehow got in off season and is suddenly going bzzz all around your office, guess what? Never thought of it as being God spotting. Look at the intricacies of an insect.
Oh, that's a fabulous example. Because when we, that idea of that the presence of God is everywhere. I mean, that is really when God spotting that's really, really practicing that. Even something as a pesky little fly, as you said, that inspires our awareness and our knowing. Oh, that's a really good example. These are the things that happen in our daily life, right? And that's practicing.
My daughter has had, she lives in the woods in Southern California in the mountains. And wood ants are a constant companion. And she has an issue. And so I made some smart comment about, oh, well, look at the intricacies of it. And she, of course, said, right when she's getting out there, squirt her to attack it. And I said, that's not very loving. And it was a good thing we were on the phone, because if I'd been close enough, she might have had a very different reaction to me.
But that's practicing, that's seeing God in everything. Oh, there's a wonderful song. I'm just thinking of this, God You Are, by Daniel Naaman sings it. God You Are, every mountain, every springtime, and those are seeing the beautiful things and reminding us to see in everything in everything. I remember my daughter, well, in growing up, I mean, she still had doing swim team. When she would do swim team in the summer, she would be the one that would rescue the bees out of the pool, the little bees floating in the water. Oh, she would go over and scoop them up and take them over. People, why are you doing that? And she, was learning about God in everything, and that's life, and that's a practice in your daily life, because it how you see the world.
Absolutely, because we, from on a psychological and neurological standpoint, we all see the world through our own filters. And the filter that we pull up is the filter that controls how we see it. And so when when things are going other than how we would like them to go, our humanity jumps up and says, this is what's going on. This is how the world is. And we, in our humanness, get distracted. And one of our teachings in Science of Mind, of course, is that which you focus upon expands in your experience. Well, this is a neurological phenomena, a psychological propensity, because what happens is it sets off a certain complex in the brain that brings that filter up. And then we see the world through that filter. And the difference of being a peace influencer or a catalyst for peace is to consciously shift perspective. When you think about it, have you ever seen an auto accident happen right in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
And even if it was just a rear ender or minor fender bender, okay. What happens when we see that is it draws our attention, and we instantly build from that. And when we build from that, then our focus goes to ordinary humanity. Okay, who did what to whom? Okay. And from our perspective, we are seeing how this happened. Now, the person on the opposite side of the intersection who saw the same event had a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they and theirs is just as accurate as ours or inaccurate as ours. And then we add a third person and a fourth person, and we're all seeing through our own set of filters. Now, if we, for instance, have ever been involved in an accident that was sort of similar to the one we witnessed, then instantly we layer that on top of that. Mm-hmm. And we can go launching off into a whole array of stories. Why did it have all of it? And what if, instead of launching into that, we choose how we see it? And I don't mean we choose to ignore what may have gone on. I'm saying, how do we see it? Asking, how do we see it? Mm-hmm. And when we go to how do we see it, we start looking for peace, for magnificence, for possibility, and more than anything, our own resources to maybe be of assistance suddenly rise to the top. If we're caught in our own stories about it, we're not resourceful. And under those circumstances, what's really needed is folks to be present resourcefully.
Oh, that's very good. Be present resourcefully. Explain that some more, because it's really good. Be present resourcefully. Mm-hmm.
If we're caught up in our own drama, there's kind of the answer. Okay. We're caught up in our own drama, then we are not bringing to any situation the possibility of being a resource. And being a resource doesn't mean that you jump out of the car and go rescue somebody, because that may not be yours to do. Yours may be to instantly be on the phone on 911 saying this happened and exactly where, and keeping your cool enough so that you report accurately so that the people that can make a difference can get there efficiently. But if I'm in my story, okay, now then there's an interesting a very interesting thing about how we learn. And it plays into this whole idea of, am I present as peace? Am I choosing to be that? And then am I a catalyst for others to be peace? How we learn is we learn by having an experience, and when we have that experience, we hang it on a past experience. It actually goes in neurologically and gets attached to something related to it. So if it gets attached to a past trauma, then it magnifies the past trauma, and it also magnifies our view of what is happening. Yeah. And so it explains how people kind of veer off. It explains why. I hope everybody knows what a Venn diagram is. It really helped me to learn this. Okay. And Venn diagrams, for those that may not be familiar, are where you see overlapping circles.
Overlap.
Okay. So an event happens, and that's one of these circles. What happens inside us in this learning process is we go catch a past experience, and we take that past experience and we overlay it on the current experience. From that moment on, we do not respond to the event. We respond to our experience or our story about that event.
Oh, that, and just the understanding of that, just what you're saying here, how we overlay that, and how it's interconnection, how, the story, and if we're not aware of that, how that can develop into something that's not, as you said, nurturing a positive outcome, if you will. It isn't inspiring peace, because we could be overlaying on top of something and feeling more and more distressed and acting from that perspective. And that doesn't relate to being peace. And so that awareness of, oh my goodness, the interconnection of all of our experiences, and who are we being? And again, it's that awareness. Just that Venn diagram is such a good explanation.
Well, and it's important. I know has been important for me to remember peace is a choice.
That's very good.
It
doesn't just happen.
Well, and
it's there, but it's a choice to allow it to express. I'm sorry.
Oh, I agree. It is, of course, always there as a possibility. and it must be chosen. Because there again, if you draw on memories, when has a very excited group, and I'm going to throw out two possible very excited groups. One is super enthusiastic. I mean, for some people, I know it would be a sporting event. I'm not very good about those, although I do love going to my granddaughter's volleyball games. Okay.
Volleyball.
Okay, now there I can. Okay. When the team is winning and there's this great energy, we're called into it.
Mm-hmm.
On the same count, if there's a political discussion going on with naming and blaming, awfulizing, and all this stuff going on, it is incredibly easy to get swelled and swirled right into all of that that is the antithesis of what we desire to experience truly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's a choice. Do I succumb to the magnetism of group thought? Or do I choose to take a stand and be peace?
That says so much. Peace is a choice. Do I succumb, as you said, to the magnetism of group thought?
Yeah.
Or do I choose?
Because sometimes being an peace influencer is quite isolating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Mm-hmm. If you're not going along with everything and that's being done and said, but you feel and know the peace that is present beneath it all, and being that peace influencer, that's really good.
It makes, peace is a choice. And I have a dear friend who is so incongruent, it's amazing. It is, I mean, fortunately, I don't think anybody will associate. There's only one person I know that would perhaps put them together. Okay. He has posters and quotes of the Buddha on his office wall. Mm-hmm. And Trump on his bumper.
Oh, mm-hmm. No, I see what you mean. And it inspires us to look at that whole idea of congruence, of everything lining up, of what we're thinking and feeling and saying and being. Oh my goodness, because that's a really good example. Because when it's not, oh my goodness, when there isn't congruence, it affects. There's confusion, and confusion does not foster peace.
And it's a good illustration of how being peace, you can have tough conversations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe in our second half, we'll get into how we can be catalysts for peace and have tough conversations when, and so far as I'm concerned, the only way to have those is be an activity of spirit as peace in those conversations.
Very good. Oh, I'm glad that you mentioned that. And that's a perfect idea that we'll take a pause here. As you said, in the second half, we will talk about that. Oh, this gives us an idea to, reflect upon. Mm-hmm.
Practical applications of how to be peace, because there's a difference between the lofty sit on the cushion and be the consciousness of peace, which is beautiful and needed. I mean, I'm total supporter of those who are called to do it that way. And for those of us who feel called to be the catalyst for peace, we need to be willing to be in tough conversations. We need to be willing to be the change we want to have, to quote or paraphrase the Mahatma Gandhi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, or to quote, paraphrase um, Marianne Williamson, we have to be more than we sometimes are willing to be.
Oh, oh, this is all, so relevant and helpful and good. It's that practical application and wisdom you're pulling from Marianne Williamson there, and Gandhi. Oh, this is so good. Well, we're going to continue with these ideas. Just a couple of minutes. We're going to take a couple minute break here. Don't go away. And we're going to come back and explore those ideas that you were just talking about. So we'll see everyone in just a couple minutes. We have a couple related peace messages here, and then we'll be back.
Good.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents The Global Heart of Peace's Peace Party. Celebrate the many paths to peace. Explore an exciting life of peace. Embody joyous peace. Come to our weekly Peace Party, Mondays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network. www.ntmedia.org.
What if you had a place to return to every day for peace, clarity, and connection? The New Thought Ministry of Prayer offers live morning and evening prayer, along with a growing library you can access anytime. This is a space for reflection, renewal, and real spiritual practice, rooted in the understanding that something greater is already alive within you. You are welcome here. Join us live or watch anytime. The New Thought Ministry of Prayer, part of the New Thought Media Network. Come, take a moment for what matters most.
So a couple of messages there about other peace programming here on the New Thought Media Network. We have the Peace Party, which is a 15-minute segment, and those are posted on Mondays, 5 o'clock Mountain Time, with practical ideas similar to what we're talking here, although we're expanding on them, but ideas to practice peace within and around us in the world, and remind us that we are peace, and we can be that in our daily lives. And also the New Thought Ministry of Prayer, practicing the beautiful and powerful spiritual tool of affirmative prayer, and live on the New Thought Media Network each day, 8:15 a.m. and 8:15 p.m. So spiritually enriching activities here. And we're going to get back to a spiritually enriching dialogue here. And Dr. Trish is, sharing a lot of great wisdom here. And we were just finishing up, we were talking about being the catalyst for peace. And sometimes how we can be the catalyst, having tough conversations when we are really mindfully coming from that place of choosing peace, right?
It's all about choice. And it's a matter of choose again and again and again, because in our humanity and the swirl of politics and the swirl of family dynamics and the swirl of all these other things that are going on in our lives, our humanity is it's all too easy to get caught up in all of that. And so we have to make a choice of how I am, and I'm going to take it to me. Okay, I have to make a choice. Now, I have been making this choice consciously for many, many years. And so I default to it pretty instantly. And the question is not whether or not you will be pulled away from that, as much as how quickly will you return to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the humanity says there's drama in my environment. Somebody was rude or whatever. And we get pulled into some environmental thing. Okay, returning to peace, making that choice. How far into the drama and the swirl do you go before your body says, oh my goodness, I'm all tense? Well, one of those feedback loops that, is in our neurology is if you are feeling tension in your body, the odds are really, really high you're not at peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we have this beautiful neurological system that says if I am getting caught up in tension, it's a really good signal to say I am not at peace in my being.
Oh, there we go. These clues.
Yeah.
Be aware. Mm-hmm.
And so when your body is giving you this message, then you can say, oh, wow, how can I shift my way of being? Well, there again, friends in Baha'i, internationally, they started a 1-minute peace moment.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And different continents have different times of day. And in the US, even though we have different time zones, assigned to the US happens to be 1 p.m. each day. And so I set on my phone, I set an alarm with a pretty low chime. And each day, this distinctive little chime goes. And I am reminded for 1 minute. Now, who really can't give a minute to total peace consciousness? Stop what you're doing and join, millions of people around the planet who are simply affirming peace. All right. Now I want you to go back to that neurological thing. You don't need to wait till 1 o'clock in North America or 8 o'clock in Kenya. You can use that same 1 minute. If you notice that your body is tense, oh, just for the heck of it, turn up or count it and simply breathe and be present. That is, withdraw from the distractions, withdraw from the demands. 1 minute. Shift your entire anatomy.
That's really good. See, that's practical. See, when you practice that, you're being a peace influencer. When you practice that, you mindfully are aware. And that's a beautiful example of something we can do each day. That 1 minute for, and what would you call that? I'm gonna make a reminder here for us. 1 minute. We have the 1 minute peace moment. That's 1 p.m. each day. But this 1 minute to regroup, or 1 minute peace. What do you call that?
Just a peace moment. That
Peace
works.
moment. Mm-hmm.
And when we take that peace moment, now I have been in and using the little thing on my phone. Okay, I've been in meetings, and my it overrides, even if it's on silent. I have it set so that it'll override.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else said, "Well, what's that?" And I say, "Everybody stop. What? Look at my watch. 1 minute apiece.
Those reminders get us back in alignment, right? It's about,
What's
Mhm.
fun in the meetings when that happens
Mm.
is the nature of the conversation that is in the meeting. Is
Mhm.
if it was a loving, friendly meeting, it's more loving and more friendly and
Mhm.
okay, more embracing. If it has had its own tension and that goes on and there's 1 minute of peace, when everyone comes back into the conversation, they are coming through a different filter. Going back to what we were talking about earlier about how we see the world. Wayne Dyer was the one that happened to coin a phrase that I love and have used repeatedly. Thank you, Wayne. Okay. And that is when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change.
Mhm.
Because going back to the auto accident possibility, going back to other life experiences, how we look at whatever is going on, our perspective alters or casts our perception.
Mhm. Oh, our perspective alters our
Perception.
perception. Mhm.
Recently, I have been in some conversations that were highly educational for me, and I can say, hey, they weren't comfortable because uh, people were people were expressing how they were. I don't want. Okay, let's get this straight now. Okay, the other people's perceptions were that they had been offended. They had been, that somebody had done them wrong, using the old song lyrics. Okay, but their assumption was that somebody had done it to them,
Mhm.
and that's so it's so human. I mean, I'm not, but the challenge with it is they made an assumption about somebody else's intent. And we simply cannot know someone else's intent. Even if it seems really obvious, we cannot actually know their intent.
That's a good point.
They may be incredibly clumsy, crass, obnoxious from our perspective, and we cannot know their intent. We can assume we know it, but then
Mhm.
what have we done? We have not been a catalyst for peace, and we certainly have not in any way tried effectively bridged to find out how life is. Um, I, I founded Way to Peace, which is a small private foundation. It's education, primarily education driven, and as possible philanthropy, but mostly it's education, and it's shared free because everybody needs it. And through Way to Peace, we teach communication skills such as presencing and loving inquiry and uh, different ways of being present in conversation so that we can learn from and with one another.
That's beautiful. Communication skills, see here how we are being in the world and how that affects peace because there's respect there's that true listening with the ears to hear, right? The
And
ears
to hear.
and the heart to hear. Oh, and what is the name of that organization you're talking about?
It's way to peace. It's WAY numeral 2
Mm-hmm.
PEACE.org.
Oh, let me make a, while you're
And,
talking, I'll make a banner for that. Mm-hmm.
and through that, we learn that we can be the catalyst for peace, or for bringing people. I believe it is stacked. What happens is when people let go of assumptions, when they let go of uh, judgments, and people don't realize that, or that often they don't think about the word prejudice. All it is prejudgment.
Oh, look at that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Prejudice, that prejudgment, is based on false evidence, or it may, I shouldn't say it's based necessarily on false evidence. The trick is it's not based on actual evidence. A
Mm-hmm.
prejudice is, for the most part, a belief created, or a judgment created pre
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
actual encounter.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm.
Kind of the opposite of peace, because peace, I,
Mm-hmm.
I believe and have spent my life dedicated to, peace is possible. World peace is possible. It's not only possible, it's probable. And how we do that is through individual and small group encounter. Um, there isn't an institution as an institution, or a government as a government, that can cause peace.
Mm-hmm.
The entity the entity doesn't have the power. It's the people within the organization, and the people within the organization are the catalysts for peace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm privileged to be a presenter at the Parliament of World Religions twice so far,
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
and uh, and my whole thrust with them is about expanding the global ethic, which is one of their absolute strongest pillars. And what it is when we treat one another with respect, then we can have conversations. The
Mm-hmm.
primary tenet of Way to Peace is be kind and respectful no matter what. That was a tough assignment sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because our humanity dives in there and says, he done me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into, well, I'm not going to forgive so and so.
Mm-hmm. It's that layering again, what you're talking about, right? From previous experience and perspective of that. Oh my goodness.
That they're all entangled. And so the big question, the really only powerful or most important question here, is choose peace again and again and again. Because if I am willing in a tough conversation to say, hey, that's not my experience. When
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants to start a fight, when somebody wants to gossip, whatever, the best one, and and it's so funny with that. I that's not my experience. It's an absolutely true statement. because you cannot have had my experience. I could not have had your experience because each of us is engaged in experience subjectively. And so when somebody is trying to berate or attack, or they're in the midst of it, simply coming in as that catalyst for peace and saying, whoa, that's not my experience, then that tends to catch people off guard because they're in the swirl of their moment. When you interject, hey, that's not my experience, then somebody's going to say, well, what is? And then you can be that presence. You can be the stand for how is that serving any of us? What is our shared value? What is our desired shared outcome? Our desired shared outcome is
shared outcome. There you go. This goes back, circles back to oneness. Our shared outcome.
Yeah, the whole thing circles back. Kind of like looking at my various career expressions through the years. I was planting peace in all of those different environments. But it didn't, many times it didn't seem like, well, I was there as the peace advocate or an influence. My peace, my presence was being that catalyst.
Oh, what a profound awareness. You see that thread, as you said, you see that thread being a catalyst for peace, and how that, all the lives that you touched with that, and being that presence and choosing that. And even as you said, if you weren't aware at the time that you were a catalyst for peace, you look back and see, and so that inspires us to look in our lives, what these things that I'm doing and that I can do, and with more awareness now about choosing peace, being the catalyst.
And so what it all circles around to is each of us, I believe, does have a purpose. And where we started in our conversation was that a whole lot of us spend a whole lot of energy pursuing what is my purpose, instead of revealing, instead of observing and saying, hey, look at, if I start looking at it, what was the difference I made? What was the thread that I was weaving? And you will, and like I say, I really believe I'm not that exceptional. I believe that there are peace influencers, peace catalysts out there that simply may not have recognized their own magnificence. They may not have recognized that how they were there, how they were being was as a sacred activist, as the presence of peace.
Oh, you have not realized their magnificence, and that expression of spirit that we are. All this awareness here that you're talking about, and the difference that it makes of recognizing the good that we are and our purpose, and allowing that to shine, and that's life fully expressing, and how that contributes to peace within ourselves and peace in the world, because you're allowing that to shine and working with that.
And it all starts with simply being awake.
No, that's a very good point. And that you're saying that in an encouraging way, if you will. I mean, sometimes we don't realize, oh my goodness, that I was not fully awake and aware of these things. And so and I'm going to go back around as we finish up here. And it's really good what you said, that peace is not, it's not, a large entity, if you will, that makes it happen. It suddenly makes it happen. It is each of us.
Every single act of kindness is peacemaking.
Oh, there we go.
That's what it all comes down to. And peace is in action. Peace is even the activity of sitting on a cushion and meditating on peace. That is an action. It is a peace action. And so we need to remember that we are the activity of the Creator as peace. And we bring it to the forefront when we remember that that's what we are.
Oh, there we go. That brings it to the forefront when we remember. So remember waking up to that and remember. Oh, there's a beautiful song. I was just remembering, as you said that, Melissa Philippe sings this. I am remembering who I am. It's a beautiful song. I am remembering who I am. Really.
And when we remember that we're an activity of the Creator, whether you call it God or whatever you call it, when we are an activity of spirit consciously, then we are more effective.
Oh, there we go.
When we allow ourselves to fall into default and go with the thread, the magnetic force of whatever is happening, swirling around. And then we sometimes need to have, sometimes it takes courage to say, no, I will not participate in that. I choose peace, not that.
Oh, this is so good. So many practical ideas here. And we'll have another peace dialogue here because there's much more to share. Oh, this is I choose. There we go. I choose, and I'm going to choose peace again and again. And know that you are a peace influencer. Oh, thank you, Dr. Trish. Oh, thank you. This has been wonderful, and look forward to doing this again. And thanks to all who have joined and seen this today or any other time. And we'll have another visit with Dr. Trish. And so until then, know that choose peace, and you are a peace influencer too. Thank you. And until the next time, peace.
Thank you.
Blessings. And here we go. All right. Until next time.
Thanks for being here and taking this time to practice peace with us. Join us again next week, Thursdays at 9 a.m. on the New Thought Media Network for another live session. And you can always catch past episodes on our YouTube channel. Until then, sending you waves of peace and blessings. We'll see you next time.